Now, let's get back to the energy space, where the Nigerian International Energy Conference held in Abuja on Monday and Tuesday focused on Africa's energy transition as the conversation continues about hydrocarbon investments and projects across Africa. Let's take a listen to Dr. Omar Farouk Ibrahim, the Secretary General of the African Petroleum Producers Organization.
The world is said to be in energy transition, a transition or an agenda that has been set by a group of people who for over 100 years have been using this fuel to develop their economies, their peoples, and their way of life. We woke up just one day and we're being told that this fuel that has changed the lives of people of Europe and America is not good for you. And we have accepted it. And we are asking ourselves, how do we cue in? I said earlier in my goodwill message that we have been intimidated and stampeded into accepting an ideology that is not in our best interest, in the name of global harmony, in the name of fearing sanctions, in the name of so many things that make us more and more dependent.
And that's the Secretary General of the African Petroleum Producers Organization, Dr. Omar. But the Executive Chairman of the African Energy Chamber, Ayuk, today participated in the virtual meeting of the OPEC Alliance, where the body decided to hold its previous output parameters unchanged for the month of April. Ayuk was also in attendance at the Nigerian International Energy Conference held in Abuja on Monday and Tuesday, where the APPO Secretary General also spoke. The African Energy Chamber Chief Ayuk joins me now from our Abuja studios for a short wrap-up of his week in Nigeria. A very good evening to you, NJ, and it's good to have you live here in Nigeria in our studios. Great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me in Nigeria. Always great to come here. It's become my second home, and I love it.
We love having you around as well from South Africa. What are your takeaways from the OPEC Plus meeting today, my friend?
I think what you saw at OPEC Plus today, you saw very careful deliberation among the ministers. They recognized the volatile nature of the market, but now they got really careful. You saw an increase of 400,000 barrels coming on stream. They also exercised the issues around the struggles to increase production. But also, you also saw an OPEC that is struggling with radical disinvestment in the sector, that they can't even ramp up more production at any time. But you also see the issues that have really caused this volatility have nothing really to do with OPEC and OPEC Plus. It is far more extenuating circumstances and a lot more that we're not looking at as an industry. And OPEC is going to continue to watch this to really find ways to continue to ensure that we have a stable market.
How should Africa energy producers position for the ongoing Ukraine invasion and its attendant consequences, Ayuk?
First of all, I would like to say that, not every loss of life needs to be condemned. It is wrong. They're very good people on both sides. We have a lot of friends in Ukraine and we have a lot of friends in Russia. We don't want this crisis should stop and stop immediately. But African producers need to really know that at the end we need to look inwardly. We need to look at home. We need to produce more oil. At this time, we should be saying, drill, baby, drill. This is a time when we need to make it easier for people to do business. We need to make it easier for people to drill new wells, extend licenses, because that crisis has shown us that the world needs Africa's oil, but most importantly, Africa needs Africa's oil, Africa needs Africa's gas. So we need to try to move away from suspects to prospects and really, really drive our industry and put it on a supercharge, because right now, a lot of our European European allies, with all the sanctions going on towards Russia, they will be looking at new markets and new projects in order for them to invest, and Africa could play a key role.
Well, give me, you were there for Monday and Tuesday on the Nigerian Energy Summit. What's the way forward? I'm sure you listened to the APPU Secretary General there, Dr. Omar. What's your take on that?
Africa is so lucky to have Dr. Omar Farouk. I think back in the old day, you would say he belongs into the Timbuktu, and he could be teaching us so much. But since he came on board with Apple, he's really put Apple on an overdrive, and they are driving a big, big thing. The African Energy Chamber and the private sector could not have had a better partner than Dr. Farouk, which he's going to sign a good deal for us very soon. But I think with the Nigerian International Energy Summit, this was one of the monumental events to happen at this time, and credit should also go to Minister Timi Pre-Silva for the work they put on it. But one of the biggest things we saw was a clear message out of Nigeria to the world that oil is still part of this country's future. There is a transition on the horizon. We're going to respect it, but also Nigeria's right to drill is important. But then Nigerians themselves have to start looking at gas. Decade of gas, how do we power that? Maybe Nigeria should even consider at this time, as part of discussion, we think they should consider a gas czar. Just like you have John Kerry as a climate czar in the United States, you should consider a gas czar, a big ministerial, senior cabinet level position to really drive gas and this decade of gas, because it's going to be Nigeria's transition to the future. And that is so important, because if the Nigerian market is stronger, if we're producing more, we'll get the Petroleum Industry Act back in action and driving it further, then we know we're living to the true promise of it. We've seen the gas deal being signed by Equatorial Guinea and Nigeria, take stranded gas into EGLNG and build up energy infrastructure. These kind of issues need to be driven further. And you're really seeing free market capitalism, but we need to also have some limited government, limited intervention. But big thing, the CEPLAC deal with Exxon that was announced during this conference, that's big. Now local producers can chill with the big boys.
Ayuk, thank you so much, the Executive Chairman at the African Energy Chamber. Thank you for your time and wish you a safe journey onwards.